Told you so. Oh, I'm sorry. And there is a handout. So it's 3 pages. I'll just give you yours and then if you guys will just.
Good morning,
grab
Bree.
yours.
Hey, Bree. I'm
Hey, I'm straightening my hair, so video's off.
3 pages. Once you get the fish.
Yeah, they kind of split apart.
Okay, once you get the fish, you're done.
And Brianne, I emailed you the handout.
Make sure you have 3 different.
Last night, I don't know if you saw it, but.
Yep, I got it.
Okay, so as you know, the name of this class is How Do We Get Leads? And I go back to, I know I've told probably all of you this, but if I haven't, you will hear it from me at some point, if not today. Brian Buffini says, we are not in the real estate business, we're in the lead generation business. And the sooner an agent can realize that, the better. What our job is, I mean, yes, that's what we do for our clients, is either sell their house or find them a house to sell. But our first and primary job is to find someone to sell a house to or to sell their house. So I want to start with the lead or the sales pipeline. So this is a graphic that I made on PowerPoint probably a couple of years ago, and I change it here and there because I really felt that it was important for agents to really visually understand what does happen here and what needs to happen in their real estate business. And this is also very pertinent to the mastermind group that we're starting, the by referral only mastermind group. So that was one of the reasons I wondered if you'd gotten my emails, because I don't know if you had said yet if you want to be in that mastermind group.
I wanted to ask you more about it.
Okay, good. Okay. It's about lead generation, but then after lead generation is about the pipeline and keeping fish in the pipeline. So as you can see at the top of the diagram, leads come in. And there's all kinds of places that you can get leads. And we're going to talk about a lot of those today. But I just listed a few up here. So through your farming, your open houses, your floor calls or whatever, you meet somebody and you put them in your sales pipeline, right? The next job after you generate the lead is you convert the lead into a client. So they're not pre-approved yet, you get them pre-approved. They're not quite ready to sell yet, you help them through the process of getting ready to sell. And then when they become an active buyer or an active seller, you have now converted that lead into a client. That's lead conversion, right? Now, many agents take care of the transaction right here. Here's the closing right here. And they treated that client, Kath, if you want to shut this, okay, either way. They treated that client like a transaction. This is a sale. It's not about you. It's about closing this deal. I don't really care about you. I don't care how well we get to know each other. I'm closing this deal. And because of that, after the closing, the fish just goes back out into the atmosphere for somebody else to pick up as a lead. That's how many agents operate. It's just about the deal. A good agent gives great relationship service during the transaction and creates a friendship with this client. And maybe not even a friendship, but a respected professional relationship, right? You trust me. I took good care of you. You know that I didn't just care about the commission check. And that is a common saying. You realtors just care about the check. You realtors just care about the money. All you realtors care about is the money. That is a very common saying. I hear it all the time, heard it all the time when I would talk to for sale by owners. Oh, you realtors just care about the money. You've shown them during the transaction, no, I care about you. Matter of fact, I'll not give up the money, but I'll give up the money for you, right? I'll cancel the deal because your dad and your grandma died. Because it's not about me pushing you to close this transaction. It's about you and the relationship. And because I maintained that relationship, we're still together, right? The problem is they give great service so the person doesn't fall out. But over time, because we don't buy but every 5, 6, 7, 10 years, over time I didn't keep in touch. And so little by little, they just leaked out the portholes, right? I just didn't keep in touch. So when I built my business, I built it on expired listings. I sent letters out to people and said, looks like you were unsuccessful in selling your home. I think I know why. I would love to talk to you about how I think I could be successful. I am sorry, I am like I'm blowing up with heat right now. I'm passionate. I'm on fire. And when I would meet with them, I would say, I'm just curious. Why didn't you work with the agent who sold you the house? We loved her. She was awesome. She was so fun, but I'm not sure if she's still in the business. What was her name? That's crazy. That is crazy. People used to call me and say, hey, Lisa, it's me, David. I don't know if you remember me, and I would laugh and say, David, of course I remember you. I just think it's great that you remember me. It means I've done my job. Okay, so we keep them in the pipeline by giving them a good transaction and showing we care about them. We continue to keep them in the pipeline by keeping in touch so that the next time they need to buy or sell, they are this repeat business. Yes, that is, and not only that, but if we really do a good job, they suck fish up into the pipeline with them. Hey, use Lisa. She treated us great. She took good care of us. You should call Lisa. So not only don't they fall out of the pipe, they suck other people up into the pipe with them. Okay, so there's your business. This is it right here, right? If you're feeling like things aren't going well, pull this out and ask yourself, what part of this are you not doing? So the part we're going to talk about today is this part, putting people into the pipe in the first place. Okay, so that was our quick review of the sales pipeline. Here's how you go about lead generation. You make an income goal for the year, right? Here's how much I'd like to make in commissions this year. You divide that goal by your average commission. Now there's different ways, obviously you don't have an average commission, right? So there's different ways to do that. Right now, I believe the average sale price in Calhoun County is 170 roughly. So if the average sale price is 170, then the average commission is 3%, should be 3.5, is 3% of 170. I think that might be roughly 4,500. Or you could say, I'm a new agent. Quite often new agents don't quite hit the average. They kind of get the little stuff at first. So even though maybe the average commission is 4,500, I'm going to say my average commission my first year will be 3,000, whatever. But you're never going to be completely right. It's a guess, but that's kind of how you figure out what your average commission would be. Or you ask maybe somebody who's been doing it a year and ask them, what was your average commission the first year, if they keep track. Then you do the math, right? Your annual income goal divided by your average commission is the number of transactions you need. So now I know how many people I need to get to the closing table with, and then figure you probably have to talk to 10 people before you got one who actually bought or sold with you. So if I've got to have 18 transactions, I've got to reach out and touch in some way 180 people.
Mine is 18 transactions.
Oh, there you go.
There you go.
I've got to reach 180 people, right? So that's your goal. I'm going to make it, and I would take it one step further. 180 divided by 12 months is 12, 13, 14, I don't know, right? So I need to get in front of 12, 13, 14 possible lead sources every month in order to generate the number of transactions that I need to close. Now, will that work exactly? No, you might do better than your goal. You might do a little bit less than your goal. A plan is a start. You have to make a plan. You review the plan after 3 months, after 6 months, and say, is the plan working? Hell yes, it's working. Or, you know what? This part of the plan is super working. This part of the plan has brought me nothing. I'm going to double down on this part, whatever. The plan can be changed, but you got to come up with something at first. Okay. So once you know the number of people that you need to bring into the pipeline, then you want to pick 3 major lead sources to concentrate on. And then what you want to do, oh, I'm sorry, boy, this class is going to be fast. We're already halfway through the agenda. So let's brainstorm about lead sources. Now, don't cheat, but there's a whole list on the next page. Don't cheat. There is a whole long list on the next page. But I would love for you guys to brainstorm. where can those 180 people that could be a buyer or a seller come from? Hey, Chip, do you need me, Chip?
No, I was gonna congratulate you on Lafayette.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
The ceiling caved in.
But it's fine. We're good.
And the buyer still wants it.
That's true?
Yes. The buyer still wants it.
Good
Yeah, I kind of
news.
figured it was going to.
Yeah.
Okay, lead sources,
Spirit of influence.
sphere of influence. Everybody know what that means? Yes.
Mhm.
Someone tell me.
People
What you
who
think
know,
people
like,
know,
and love you
yeah.
already, friends and
Know, like,
family,
and
your
trust.
biggest
Know, like, and
advocates.
trust. People who already know you, like you, and trust you.
Mhm.
That is your sphere of influence, right? So it can be friends, it can be family, it could be past clients in another career, past coworkers, people who already know you, like you, and trust you. Interesting. 180, and how many did I tell you I'd like you to have? 250, right? So wonder why I was telling you that. Okay, another lead source,
Social media.
social media, exactly. Everybody see Diane's post yesterday? I give
Mhm.
free consultations, wondering what your house is worth, wondering what you need to do to get it ready, call me, and then a couple of pictures of some sold signs, and, right, she's
Mhm.
advertising on social media, she's reaching out to not just her sphere, because obviously everyone that you're friends with on social media is not necessarily know you, like you, and trust you yet. Here's the other thing, we might as well say this now, this is not a social media class, your personal life on social media is over. You really can't say, I don't like Facebook, I don't really hang out on Facebook. I don't invite anybody to be friends with me on Facebook until I really know them. Create a separate private page if that's how you feel. You notice my grandkids are not on my Facebook anymore. They're just not there anymore. Everything that's on my Facebook is come to Remax. I mean, right? I wouldn't necessarily recommend that. I'm failing a little bit in being social. I'm very business on my Facebook page, but I'm also the broker. What you need to be on Facebook is part social. It's just like a party. You wouldn't walk into a party and say, hi, I'm Lisa Damron with Remax Fair. Would you like to buy or sell a house? You wouldn't do that. People would stop talking to you. What you do is you come in, hey, how's it going? Oh, beautiful baby. Da, 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 da. Oh, really? You are? I'm a realtor. Can I, you mix it in, right? Okay, sorry, social media, another lead source. Come on, where did most of you get your first
Phone calls.
floor calls? That's a very big lead source for new agents.
1, 2 of my listings have come from phone calls.
There you go.
Quite a few buyers.
Like other industry professionals like lenders. and-
Professional referrals. Absolutely. Let's try one more and then I'll let you look at the next page.
Well, I could add the number 4, agent referrals.
Agent
Like when
referrals.
our agents.
Absolutely. Not only agents from other areas, right? Sending
Mhm.
people from Indiana up here, but agents within this office.
Yeah.
I got a call on my listing. I'm out of town this weekend. Do you want to show it? If you do, just pay me a
Mhm.
referral fee and you can have the deal, right?
Mhm.
If you're not getting to know the top producing agents in this office, that is a mistake because they quite often have leads they can't handle and they will give them out. Okay, so now let's look at the next page. There are tons of lead sources. We didn't talk about Remax leads. Remax, when you get a Remax lead, right? Following up on those, converting those. Local service clubs, Rotary, Optimist, all of those, every month they meet and every month they have a speaker. I've told people that before. Come up with a presentation on the current market and call every service club in town and offer to talk on it. Right now, I am 1,000,000% comfortable speaking in public. I have no problem with it. I don't have an unpublic bone in my body. If it's not your forte, I understand. But if I did one presentation for the city of Battle Creek and got asked to do that same presentation for several different service clubs and got tons of calls off of it. And all I did was show market stats and kind of give my opinion about why they were what they were. And I interviewed a couple of builders, and I mean, it didn't take me long to put it together. It was probably a 20-minute presentation, and I got all kinds of calls off of that. Let's see, open houses, obviously. Are open houses to sell houses?
No.
What are open houses for?
Generate leads.
Buying buyers, exactly. Expired or with, now, when I say or withdrawn listings, that withdrawn word should be canceled.
Mhm.
In our MLS, withdrawn means something else. Across the country, withdrawn means they pulled it off the market. In our MLS, it means the house is still listed with the agent, it's just pulled off the MLS for a minute while they do some painting or something. So there was a rant on Facebook this morning, and I thought, I better remind them that withdrawn means canceled in our case. Geographic or demographic farming. So demographic farming is an age group or a hobby group, or I'm farming a certain group of people rather than a certain area. So geographic farming is I want to do Go Back Lake, right? I want to do, what is that subdivision in Penfield, right off Morgan Road? That one, right? I want to do that area, right? Carriage Hills, thank you. Demographic farming is I want to do people my age, I want to do people who own boats, I want to do motorcycle riders, I want to do horse people, farmers or whatever. So there's two types of farming. For sale by owners, Olivia, there's several different professions on here. Accountants and CPA firms, right? A lot of people, when they do their estate planning or their financial planning, that accountant might know, oh, they're going to be selling soon if they had somebody they could refer. Attorneys, especially estate and bankruptcy attorneys. Ron, you and I talked about that yesterday. Chip gets all kinds of business off of Dave Zebel. Every time Dave's got a bankruptcy or an estate, he calls Chip, hey, I got one for you. I bet a couple of months that he gets one.
How do you create that relationship, or how do you bring that up to that business? Or-
Absolutely, right? It's awesome if you have an attorney,
Right.
but if you don't, then so if it were me, again, these are all kind of guesses. I'm gonna try this. So if it were me, I would say, okay, I'm gonna Google estate attorneys in Battle Creek and bankruptcy attorneys in Battle Creek. And I'm gonna pick the top 10 that come up in the Google search. And I'm gonna start with a letter, right? I'm a real estate professional here in Battle Creek. I know that quite often, when a client is facing bankruptcy or planning their estate, that they need a real estate professional. And if you don't already have one that you refer, I would love it if you refer me, and it'd have a number of cards in there, etc. I'd wait about 2 or 3 weeks and then I'd visit them and I'd bring cookies. Matter of fact, I think that's in my plan. I came up with a sample plan. I'm pretty sure that's in my plan. I'm not just making this up. I actually did that. And then I would go visit them. And don't forget, the receptionist is the gatekeeper. So yeah, make friends with that receptionist, right? Because she's the one that lets you speak to the professional or not. So you come in with cookies or something, and hey, I sent a letter in a couple of weeks ago. I just wondered if anybody got it, if there's any questions I can answer. I brought a few of my cards and brought you a treat. Hope you enjoy it. Make sure they are not home baked cookies. My daughter will not eat a home baked cookie because you may have a dog and she's freaked out by dog hair in her food. So bring them from the bakery. Just saying. But that's what I would do. Okay. Advertising, obviously, everything from wearing logo apparel to billboards to TV to car wraps, right? Advertising. Now, at this office, we preach, I'd rather see you spend 49 cents mailing to somebody who knows you, likes you, and trusts you than 2 cents on a billboard, because this is a bullet approach. It's very effective. It's very cost effective. This is buckshot, right? This is and hope something lands. But I want you to remember that perception is reality. And there are agents out there who advertise like crazy. And there are people in the public who think, wow, they must be really good because they're everywhere. And they're actually some of the worst agents in the market. So a lesson can be learned. let them go bankrupt spending all that money on advertising, but remember that people seeing you as a leader in real estate makes them think you're a leader in real estate. Appraisers, blue tarp houses, boarded up windows, vacant, call the city, get a copy of the vacant and abandoned list, right? You could literally specialize with an investor and say, I'm gonna go out and I'm gonna find properties that have been abandoned that are available, and I'm gonna hook you up with them. I mean, it's a lead source. You have to look at these. I remember one time I was in church and they were talking about knowing your gift, right, in ministry. And they were like cleaning. I'm like, nope, nope, I'll pay somebody to clean them. I can't remember another one. Nope, justice. Like you're that person who gets on fire when you see somebody being treated unjustly. And I was like, that's me, right? Yes, that's me. And so that's what you want to do with these lead sources too.
Yeah.
Now, if they all turn you off, we have a problem, right? But you pick the ones that you're like, that I could do that. I excelled with expireds. Again, it's in a market when there were more expireds. But I would argue, you see an expired in this market, they had a horrible realtor and they are right for the plucking. So there may not be many expireds, but those that are, like, I'd be all over those. Because I would be, and again, I'm very confident I've been in the, I would be all about telling them, I know why your house didn't sell, because there is no reason for your, and I'm gonna tell you, it's almost always price. But it's also almost always the realtor's fault that the price was too high. You'd be surprised about that too. Let's see, business cards. This was a good idea. Have different business cards. One specifically for buyers that maybe talks about interest rates, or maybe has the names and addresses of your top 3 lenders, or one specific to buyers. The cool thing about business cards is there's a back to them, and not many people use the back. Then one specific to sellers. Maybe a quick list on the back of the top 10 common things that would make your home sell faster, or one specific sell, and then one for fun. I know some of you know that Kathy Jewell has some business cards that say things on the back like, love your shoes, great shoes, your hair looks awesome, cool dress, you look happy today, or whatever. So I thought that was kind of an interesting thing, different cards for different people. Builders, building inspectors, carpet cleaners, all these are people who are called in when somebody's getting their house ready to sell, right? And if they're doing it on their own and haven't talked to an agent yet, or have, but not a good agent, those are opportunities. Charitable groups quite often are gifted a house. They don't want the house, they want the cash. So you could say, if you're given a donation of a home, I'd love to be your resource to sell that for you and get you the cash out of that donation. Charitable groups, classified ads, not only running them, but looking at the classified ads, looking for people with maybe homes to rent, or when somebody advertises wanted to buy. Maybe I can help you find that house you want to buy. Credit repair agencies, estate sales, right? You see somebody holding an estate sale, more than likely that house is going to go on the market. Eviction court, I was in eviction court several times. I hated being a landlord. If you'd have caught me now I'm a realtor, you wouldn't have gotten me, but I could see catching a landlord in eviction court and saying, hey, you done? Want to just sell the damn place and be done evicting people? I mean, you never know. That's a
You would
source.
just hang out there?
I don't know. Maybe you look at the docket and reach out. I mean, maybe I'd have to look at a docket and see if it's just names or if the address is attached. But maybe you hang out. Maybe you make friends with the guy. So there's the judge and then there's that bailiff or what. Maybe you make friends with the bailiff and say, hey, if you see the same guy in there a lot and he seems to be sick and tired of it, let me know. Maybe he'll sell his properties, right? Funeral homes, oh my God. That sounds a little ambulance chasing to me, but garage sales, especially if you're farming a neighborhood, you better be at every garage sale in that neighborhood. That is the best way. Was anybody in the business when Morgan sold that house on 10 acres on 10 Mile? That was a garage sale that my husband went to. And of course, my husband will chat anybody up. So he starts chatting them up and they tell him they're getting ready to sell and he gives him Morgan's name and she gets a 10-acre, $250,000 listing out of a garage sale. So I'm here to tell you it works. Hair salons, hell yes. My God, my hairstylist knows everyone my age. She's been in hairstyling as long as I've been in real estate. She knows everyone and what they're doing and absolutely hair salons. Or barbershops. Insurance brokers, large employers now, that's a little difficult. The larger employers use a relocation company, but there are large employers that don't. You know, when I say large, bigger than us, but you know, you get a 50 to 100 employee place, they probably don't have a relocation company. Factories probably don't have a relocation company. If you knew somebody that worked at Denso, maybe they've got a board that people can, and maybe you say, can you throw a few of my cards up on the board in a flyer or something, right? Lenders, obviously, we talked about that. Military transfers, we have a Ford here. Moving companies, neighborhood newsletters, and I would add neighborhood Facebook pages. So I know you two heard that Morgan's on her neighborhood Facebook page and she asked permission. Hey, you guys, I'm a realtor. I live in the neighborhood. Would you mind if about once every other month I just kind of publish some statistics on houses just in this neighborhood? And they were like, no, that'd be great. So she is now becoming known on that neighborhood Facebook page as the realtor for that neighborhood. Networking, newspaper carriers, interesting. Just hang on a minute. Hey. Thought we could meet. They know when houses become vacant. Nursing homes, retirement homes. My mom lived at Reflections before she passed away, and Talia lives very close to Reflections, so Talia visited mom every night. And those girls love her, and she got all kinds of business from those girls at the retirement home because the people come in and they got a home to sell. I sold a home for a woman that moved into North Point Woods. I got 4 other referrals from her. She'd be like, now Lisa, figure out a way to call them and tell them, don't tell them that I gave your name, but here's their daughter's name and I know they need to sell their, you know, and I got 4 other sales off of that just at North Point Woods. Short sales. I should probably do a class on short sales very soon because they're coming again. Right now, people have tons of equity in their home because, you know, they borrowed 100%, but then values went way up. At some point, the people are way overpaying for houses right now. At some point, short sales are going to become an issue. And if you know how to do them, and you do want to cherry pick them, you don't want to do all of them, but if you know how to do them, you will be a huge resource. And it's hard work, but it's not hard. It's a lot of work, but it's not hard as far as to do. And so, and in fact, I will do a class soon on short sales. Termite and pest control company, same thing. Any type of contractor that might go when somebody's considering selling. You know, there's nothing wrong with saying to them, hey, you know, for instance, I use Dino English pretty much all the time. I used to use Premier Pest, now I use Dino English. I've not done it because I'm a broker, I don't sell, but I would have no problem saying to Dino sometime, hey, Dino, you know, if you ever were at a house and they started talking about selling, do you have a name you already give out? And if first of all, if you said a crappy realtor, I'd say, well, I can help with that. I'll give me my name, you know, but I would ask him to give my name out. Who has read the Buffini book where he says, who's your doctor? It's so-and-so. Who's your attorney? It's so-and-so. Who's your dentist? It's so-and-so. Who's your realtor? Right? That's what you want. Everybody knows who their doctor is. It's not, I go to this guy sometimes and this guy sometimes. This is my doctor. And you tell people. When I'd love it that just like you say, who's your doctor? Yeah, I'd love it if you'd say, who's your realtor? It's me. Would you be willing to do that? Well, what do you mean? Well, it just means I keep in touch with you. I give you updates on the market. I take good care of you and give you what you need when you need something in real estate and you get money, right? Okay. All right. So all kinds of lead sources.
Now, when you approach these people, what's in it for them for you to ask for to promote your business?
Well, what's in it for them is but let's say an attorney, right? Let's say, so my attorney at the time, he's mostly retired, so I don't use him as much anymore, but Don Dickerson, when Don Dickerson was my attorney, Don's got to give these people a name, and now his name is on that referral. So he wants to give a name of someone that's going to get the job done and get it done right, because his name's on that now. So Don gave people my name when, because of their estate planning or because whatever, they needed to sell. So if Don wasn't giving out my name, I would go to Don and, one of these times when I'm visiting with Don about something else, I would say, hey, Don, do you ever have situations where people need a realtor and you have to refer a realtor? Yeah, sometimes I do. Do you give them the same name every time? Would you consider giving them mine? Right? But I know, Don, if it was a stranger, an attorney, I would say, I imagine that when you need to give out the name of a professional, it's important to you that you give out a name of somebody that's going to do a good job, because now your name's on it. So what I'd like to do is I'd like to show you that by giving out my name, you're just strengthening your reputation by using me. And I understand that it's going to take a time or two to prove that, but I'd like you to give me a chance to show you that what I'm going to do is that, let's just say his name's Bob Jones, that when Bob Jones's name is on that referral, they're getting that service that they expect from Bob Jones from Juan Acevedo. So you've got to tell them what I'm going to do is elevate your reputation, because I'm going to do the job that you would want done. That's what's in it for them. It's the same thing if a lender used to call me and say, how do I get your business? Close the deal, right? I don't start transactions I don't plan on finishing. So, and when I used Colleen Mayer, who's no longer in the business, the reason I use Colleen is if it's a no, Colleen said it's a no up front. Hey, Lisa, these people aren't going to be able to do it. If they do this, this, and this, and this, they'll be able to do it in about 6 months. Great, thank you. 6 months from then on, where other lenders would be like, looks good as long as it, and then 6 weeks in, yeah, we're not going to be able to do it. Yeah, right? No, I'll never use you again.
Trina's really good about that timeline and needing the people knowing what they need to do to get there.
Yeah. So same thing. When you refer somebody, your reputation is now attached to that. I want to advance your reputation by doing your job. And, I want you to give me a chance to do that. Some attorneys and accountants and that don't have a specific person. And they would love to be able to just call one. That's what Dave Zebel does with Chip. He doesn't have to think about it. He doesn't, well, do you have a resume? He says, call Chip. I'll call Chip. I'll send you Chip your information. It's just a no-brainer for Dave. I know if I send him the Chip, it'll get done. It'll get done right. I don't have to think about it. And that's what you're giving Dave, is that peace of mind that those people are going to be taken care of. That's what they get. Okay?
Yep.
All right. So again, once you know the number of leads you need to reach out to, you want to pick 3 major lead sources to concentrate on. Once you choose your 3 primary lead sources, I highly recommend that the sphere of influence be one of the 3, right? Make a plan to get all of the leads from each source. All 180 leads from each source. Why do you do that?
Creates like a buffer for when you don't, because then
Right.
if
If I'm working on getting 180 from here, 180 from here, and 180 from here, there's a pretty good chance I'm gonna hit that 180. Okay?
Yep.
Let's see. The question to ask yourself is, what things must I do to ensure that I touch at least blank number of people? Right? So let's look at an example. Flip your page over.
Bree just had to go to her listing appointment.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Okay. Commission goal, 80,000. Average commissions, 4,500, equals 18 transactions divided by 0.1 is 180 leads.
That's
There's
literally
a-
what I wrote.
That's what you wrote? There
That's
you go.
literally- I didn't even see that.
Did yours not print two-sided?
Yeah.
Oh, you got it. Okay.
No, sorry, I'm listening to you all.
Gotcha. 3 lead sources, repeat and referral, friends and family, business referrals. So again, this is just a sample plan using what I just told you, a sample plan. Source 1, repeat and referral. What must I do to touch 180 repeat and referral leads this year? A, send every client I've worked with in the past an annual CMA, call it an investment. What did you call that? I said investment recap. You know how your investment, if you have an IRA or whatever, once a year they send you your portfolio analysis, right? The coach we heard in Chicago said, call it that. This is an investment. Don't just say your home values. This is their biggest investment. Call it their investment analysis. Here's your annual investment analysis. Okay. Call each client I've worked with in the past 2 times this year to catch up. So every single one of them gets a call from me 2 times throughout the year. Hey, it's Lisa. Just touching base, see things, how things are going. What are you up to? Probably gonna stalk them on Facebook first. Oh my God, Ronan's so cute. I can't believe he's 5 already. You know, whatever. Right? If I'm a friend of the family, if it's as much about a relationship as it is a transaction, then we keep in touch. Give each client I've worked with in the past some small gift, something needed based on their Facebook posts, right? Heard you were sick, here's some chicken soup, here's some Lipton chicken soup, I don't know. Or a $5 Starbucks gift card, maybe some chapstick in the winter, you know, thought you might need this. Especially somebody who moves to Michigan, get ready for the cold, thought you might need this, right? A little thing of sunscreen in the summer, whatever, it doesn't matter. Some little gift. In all my communications, ask for business and or referrals. Some of you know that I had a stamp that said, please pass my name along whenever you get the chance. And when I would send a birthday card, I don't have to write, please guys, on every card, on everything. Please pass my name along when you get a chance. It's that easy, right? Okay, source 2, friends and family. For me, my business was big enough that I could split those. I had enough in repeat and referral and enough in friends and family that I could actually call those 2 separate lead sources. Some of you, that might be all one lead source right now. Personal call on their birthday. Second personal call at some point in the year to catch up. Coffee or lunch at least once in the year. Free market update on their neighborhood twice a year. 1 small gift, right? Ask for business each time. That easy. Business referrals. Identify a minimum of 20 local businesses that might be a source of referrals. Send an introductory letter to each. Stop by in person within 2 weeks of the letter to introduce myself. Bring cookies. Send a bi-monthly postcard with information about how I work, what they can expect from me. Like their Facebook business page, Instagram, LinkedIn, and comment or like at least 2 times a month. Share interesting articles that link their business and real estate at least 2 times a year. Oh, that's supposed to say ask. Ask for business and or referrals with each communication. Now, will these work? I don't know, right? Do they seem pretty thorough and positive and likely to bring business? Sure. So I implement this plan and then I put it in my calendar. For me, probably 4 months from now. 3 seems too short. 6 seems like I just lost half a year if they're not working. But maybe 4 months from now to review the plan and ask myself, is this working, right? Do I get responses? Have I reached out? Am I doing it? Am I being true to my plan? Okay, how do you be true to your plan? It's the last thing on the class outline. How do you be true to your plan?
Put it in writing and then you
Write
can
it
use it.
down, have an accountability partner or person.
And put it in your damn calendar.
Schedule
Do you know how many agents ask me, when's the office meeting? 3rd Wednesday of every month. Jeez, how hard is it?
Plus, I think it's on the TV.
Put it in your calendar.
And in my calendar, I actually can't say repeat the 3rd Wednesday of every month.
Yeah, that's.
So I don't know how to do that. Do I go in
When it's
individually?
done, so if it's office meeting day,
Just do it on
go
your regular
into
phone.
that and change the date to next month's office meeting.
Oh,
That's
okay.
what I would do.
That's a good, okay,
Yeah.
gotcha.
It is one of the reasons paper calendars are nice.
Mhm.
And I will tell you, I do have a calendar on here, but every day I transfer today's stuff onto a paper calendar and I use both. I add stuff here because that's the nice thing about a digital calendar is I can put something in 3 years from now, which is a paper calendar. That's crazy, right?
Mhm.
But then that day, you'll see I walk around with that notebook and it's got the week of everything I want done and notes of how I want to get it done and to-dos and all that. So I do a combination. You've got to figure out what works for you, but that's how I would handle that. The other thing you could do is, this is what Talia does. Talia has a monthly thing. And so then at the beginning of the month, she puts it in her calendar for that month. So she has it's just a list, right? And office meeting would be third Wednesday. So then at the beginning of each month, she books all those things into her calendar for the month. That'd be another way